Listen up. Be you. You got this. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Keto, rock stars, stay strong. Be you. Bacon, beef, butter. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto rock stars. Keto on, stay strong. Be you. Keto rock stars.
Welcome, Keto Rock Stars, to Thursday Motivation. How is everybody doing today? Obviously, you see the theme of today's live stream, which is travel tips and tricks. Before I get into that, though, I want to say hi to a few people. Who do we have here? We've got Sandy Blythe in the house. Welcome, welcome. Sandra James Living It is here. Welcome, Sandra. Good morning, good morning. Kathy B. here is here, and she says, check this around. We can't see the chat. That is so bizarre. Kathy B. here says, oh man, just take me with you. Sandy says, I want to go too. And but that is just so weird that that's covering that up. Anyway, North Dakota Lance Carnivore is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Helix is in the house. Helix, I still need to work on your Avenger, but it might have to be when I get back. I just haven't been able to pull it off. Lance is in the house. Welcome, Lance. Kelly's here. Horizon Crochet. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Schmoovie, my neighbor, is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. So I hope everybody's doing well. Lynn, 22 Cute Cats here. Hello, Lynn. So the topic for today is travel tips and tricks. I may look a little tired today, but that's because I have a lot going on because I am getting on an airplane and flying out to Vegas tonight at 10 o'clock p.m. for my nephew's wedding. So today we're going to talk about tips and tricks and some of the things that I do when I'm traveling. And some of these things I haven't tried yet, but I've traveled with people who have, and it works really, really well. Thomas is in the house. Welcome, Thomas. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, so let's go into tips and tricks for travel. Some of these you may already know, and some of them you may not. So hopefully I cover some that you may not. Let me find my little document here. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, guys, I'm all over the place today. But it's okay because I'm leaving on a jet plane here in just a little bit. Okay. So the first thing, take what I call purse food. Bacon, hard-boiled eggs, pork rinds, steaks cut up into strips, cheese sticks. If you do cheese. If you don't do cheese, don't take cheese sticks. But you're going to ask me about refrigerated stuff, right? And I have a solution for this that I'm going to talk about. If you don't do the second solution that I have, the stuff will stay good for a few hours. So you just need to get through security and pack it in your bag. And all of those things will get food in your purse or carry-on bag will get through security. I promise you. And if it doesn't, what's the worst thing you got to do? Throw it out? Okay, so what? So you have to throw some food out. Lambs is in the house. Welcome, Lambs. I saw Holly Springer's here too. Good morning, good morning. I am on my lunch break. I am working today, and then I'm trying to get ready for this trip. So crazy, crazy day, and I'm extremely swamped at my day job. I almost didn't know if I was going to be able to make this on time, but it worked. So let me see if I can get rid of, just theme up here for a second. There we go. Now we might be able to see stuff. Okay, we're going to do this. Works a little better. Cool, cool, cool. Let me get back to the chat here. Got everybody. Okay, so purse food. Pack food in your purse or travel on bag, just enough to eat while you're traveling. If you don't want to do that, I'll talk about another option you can do. Bride's Biscuits in the house. Hello, 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 Bride's Biscuit. Michael's Adventures is here. Welcome, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so the first thing, purse food. The second thing that I've been doing, and this works really well, you might get your bag pulled aside by security, but they usually approve it. Fill the night before, fill a see-through plastic bottle full of water and stick it in the freezer. You're gonna ask me, why am I gonna freeze water? You cannot take water on a plane, right? Just regular liquid. But if you freeze it, it becomes a solid. So what you do is you stick that in your purse or carry-on, like your personal item, not your carry-on, your personal item. And then right before you go through security, drink all of the melted liquid. As long as you drink all of the melted liquid and it's only frozen solid, that usually gets through security. Now, I've done this twice now and it does work. Now, the one thing you want to do is you'll probably get your bag pulled aside by security, so it will take a few extra minutes. But the other good thing about having this ice in your personal item is you can stick it next to like the eggs and the bacon and the steak strips and the cheese, and it will keep it cold while you're on the airplane. So not only are you able to drink the water as it melts, but you are also able to keep those items that you stick in your travel bag cool. Wow, we have 16 people watching. That is so awesome. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So freeze your ice the night before in a clear. Now, they don't use a metal water bottle because they generally want to see what's in there. So if you use a plastic clear bottle or some sort of even glass would probably work. Yeah, it works. I've done it twice now. And actually, the last time I flew, which was in February, it worked really well because the turbulence coming from California was so terrible that the drink people couldn't come up and down the whole 4-hour flight. So it really worked out really well for us because I had water to sip on, and my husband even took drinks off of mine because he didn't have one. But it does work, lambs. It really does. So that's the other thing. Plus, it keeps those items you put in your bag cold. Now, I don't know if I'm going to take food. I am taking, I'll talk about this one in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. This next one is amazing. I have not personally done this one, but I traveled with a choir mate to our concert to West Palm Beach last year, and they did this, and it worked. So let's say you're strapped for cash on a budget, right? What you can do ahead of time, cook up a bunch of meat, hamburger patties, sausages, steaks, whatever you eat, and then freeze it. And then right before you leave, and you could even put frozen ice packs in this. You're going to pack up a suitcase full of frozen meat and ice packs. Now you're like, what are you going to do with that? Right? Well, what you're going to do. So it usually costs about $35 to check an extra bag, right? So let's say you're only traveling for a week and you're taking a carry-on with all your clothes in it. You're going to pack an extra suitcase full of meat. And you could even, if you're worried about it getting confiscated, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to make you throw it out. Okay. But I've had a friend do this while I traveled with her, and she, oh, Thomas is going to the hospital. Wish me luck. Enjoy your nephew's wedding. I'm sorry, Thomas. Keep us updated, please. Let us know how you're doing. Send me an email, Thomas, and let me know how you're doing. Retired Rick's in the house. Welcome to Retired Rick. So what I was saying was you're going to cook a bunch of meats, freeze them. You're going to take an extra suitcase and you're going to fill it full of those frozen meats and even maybe some ice packs that are frozen. They have to be frozen. They can't have liquid in them. And then you could probably, I don't know if you can travel with dry ice or not, but the packs. And then what you're going to do is you're going to check that bag. Costs $35, but would you rather pay $35 to bring your own food? Or would you rather spend $35 to $70 every meal you eat while you are on the road, right? Hey, Biscuit. Biscuit's in the house. Welcome, Biscuit. Brian Aries here. Welcome, Brian. We're going over tips and tricks for travel. So then when you arrive at your destination and you check into your hotel, I always book hotels that have a refrigerator in them, right? Because then you can unload all that meat, and sometimes they have a freezer, but you can unload all that meat and then you can eat off of it all week, right? And then you have meat. You flew with you or packed. Now, if you're driving, that's a no-brainer. If you're driving, you just take it with you and in the car. But when you're flying, it's a little bit more tricky. So pack a suitcase full of meat and freeze it, and it will thaw as you're traveling a little bit. But then when you get to your destination, you can put it in the hotel refrigerator. So that is the next thing. And that is really good if you're strapped for cash because yeah, you'll have to pay for the checked bag, but then you have your food for the whole week. That's one of my post in the comments if you will try that or not. I really like that one. I haven't personally tried that, and I'm not doing that this week because we're only going for 3 days, and there's a lot of options in Vegas to eat out. So I'm not really worried about that. But that's one of the things you can do. Okay, any questions? Post QQQ if you have something you really want me to read in the comments, and I will get to it. Then another thing you can do is fasting, okay? So, and I really should do this because sometimes I have stomach issues. And I don't have stomach issues when I fast. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know if it's like coming home when you're eating out. So, you know, a good option would be fasting. Or even if you are on a limited budget or you're sensitive to restaurant food, you could do a multi-day fast if you're into that kind of thing. That also helps you save money. Uh, and if you're like me, you tend to get bathroom issues. The other thing that happens to me when I travel is I will eat out at restaurants, and then when I get home, things tend to bother me because I ate stuff with seed oils in it or maybe stuff that wasn't totally clean because I tend to be sensitive to that. Sharon's in the house. Welcome, Sharon. You may want to start from the beginning because the first 2 tips I gave were really good. So the next thing you may want to do is research your restaurant options before you go, right? Research your restaurant options before you go. Plan, look at the menus, write them down, plan where you're going to eat different days. When we went to California this last time, we found a breakfast place. It wasn't cheap. It was about $70 a meal. So our breakfast was $70 every day. But when you're eating all meat and asking for meat and eggs, sometimes it's for 2 of us. But at least it was a place that we could eat and not have problems. So look ahead for restaurants you're going to. So Rick, your option would be the option A, which is cook your meat before you go, freeze it, take it in a bag, and check the bag if you're flying. If you're not flying, Rick, you could just bring that suitcase full of meat with you. And then when you get to your hotel, you just transfer all of that meat that is partially thawed to your hotel what is it called? Refrigerator. Oh, look. Hold on. We got, who did I miss? Deanna Raw is watching from Facebook. Welcome, Deanna. Let me see. Is it live? It's live on Facebook. Let me pull this up. I think I'm going to turn. Yep. Hi, Deanna. Yes, she says, I do that all the time. Plus, I take cans of sardines are fast, at least while flying. I didn't know. I guess sardines would be able to get through security. So canned meat. That's another option. Sardines, canned chicken, canned tuna. Get the pop tops though, so that you can open them when you get. And always pack paper plates and pack a few paper plates and some plastic silverware because you won't be able to get that where you're at unless you go to a store or something. Other options. Traveling. No, I'm talking about like far away traveling, Rick. Like flying or going to a meetup. Uh And Sandy says, LOL, Rick. Sharon says, I will, was grabbing lots of ground beef at Food Line. Ooh, $3.70 a pound. That's really good. Yeah, so you're going to you're going to make your meat ahead of time, Rick, and then you're going to freeze it. And then you are going to freeze it, and then you're going to transfer it to the hotel refrigerator when you get there. If I was meant to fly, I would be quacking, Rick says. That's hilarious. Yes. Rick says, on the bus, I have raw meat in a bag. That works too. For sure. Uh, Sandra James Living It says, what streaming method are you using? I'm streaming through Talk Studio. But if you're asking about all of the interesting things that I'm using for the stream, like the automatic chat reader, my little like applause meter, all this stuff, that is all set up through OBS, not through Talk Studio. Wow, Sandy, last time I flew was 20 years ago. Well, maybe it's time for a trip. And me head for life. Kurt is here. Welcome, Kurt. Burp, he says. I can't belch on command, otherwise I would. Hubs loves the beef jerky on road trips, which that brings up another point. I did pack. I bought some expensive beef sticks that are going in my purse. I don't like chomps. I mean, I would eat them in a pinch. I don't like them. So I bought Archer's brand, but they are very, very clean. So I think they're comparable to chomps. So I bought those. So hopefully those, I don't know. I just don't like the chomps. Got a weird taste to them, the seasoning or something. Lamb says you can ask the bus driver ID if you could put some on the manifold. Because Rick likes to cook on the manifold of his truck. Bride's Biscuit says my travel planning involves finding my sneakers. My last flight was in a different century. Wow, Biscuit. Gotcha. This is the second time I'm traveling, and I believe I'm going to Hacker Health to help work the Kilts booth. I've not bought my tickets yet for that, and I probably should start looking, but yeah, Smoothie. I don't like chomps. There's a weird flavor in those. Uh-oh, I just messed up my microphone. Get that back. Yes. Okay, good, Sharon. That means I'll probably like Archer too. If you like them, I'll probably like them. I'm kicking my printer here. I'm at my desk. Yeah, Smoothie. I agree. Chomps has a weird flavor. And Sandra says, what? 20 years ago, we need to do a cruise or a meetup together, guys. Yeah. Rick, I hope you go to Hack Your Health because that'll be the place I get to meet you if you go to Hack Your Health. I think some of us were talking about doing a VRBO. And I think Lewis was going to set that up, but I don't know. So we're streaming on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. So thank you for everybody tuning in. We got 22 people watching. Biscuit says, I don't like carnivore snacks. I used Tillamook Zero Sugar back during keto. They were passable, not too clean though. Yeah, I don't really like snacks either. But sometimes I'm really hungry today and I know it's stress. I know it is because I'm traveling and there's still a lot of stuff to do and I have a busy day at work and we're leaving tonight and I'm working on the same day I'm traveling. So I know that's why I'm hungry. I've not eaten today yet. Rick, it's going to be in Tampa. Hack Your Health is going to be in Tampa. You know what, Sandy, the older I get, and I know some of you would say that I'm not that old, I really like being at home. I worry about our pets. We have a neighbor coming down to feed them wet food, but I still worry about them being. They're used to people being home every day, and when we leave, I just worry about them, and they get mad. They're very spoiled. Yes, Smoothie, I make beef jerky too. It's probably about time for me to make some. Rick says, okay, too far for me. You know what? You're in Illinois, Rick, and I'm in Indiana. It's kind of far for me too. I'm gonna have to fly. Sandy says, yes, I'll be 70. Well, Sandy, you look great for 70, and you're doing great too. Biscuit says, I'm a stay-at-home daddy. That is awesome, Biscuit. Okay. So the next thing that I always do, and I splurge a little bit when I go on trips. So when I'm at home, I do unflavored electrolytes. When I travel, I do treat myself to flavored electrolytes. So, but I always take electrolytes with me because that gives me something to drink and why not splurge just a little bit while you're on vacation? So I do take, and I use Salty. I think everybody knows that I have a link for a 10% off discount, and that is in the chat, or I'm not sorry, in the description notes of the show. So if you want to try those, you can use that link to get 10% off. Erin's in the house. She said, I thought this was a ribeye party, probably because my thumbnail showed a suitcase with ribeyes on it. But happy birthday. Okay, here we go. Ready? We got to sing Erin happy birthday. Her birthday was yesterday, and I wasn't on a stream I could sing to her. So ready? Let's all sing to Erin in unison. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Erin. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy birthday, Erin. I hope you had a special day and ate some steaks. Biscuit says, it's a blessing, Sandy. Everyone telling Erin hi. And Sandra says, I love flavored electrolytes because they are essential. I do not miss. Yes, I use the unflavored ones, but I found out last time I took a bunch of flavored ones for my husband and I ended up drinking his. So this time I'm just going to take flavored ones and enjoy them while I'm traveling. Yes, I remember the trip to California with the restaurants. Yes. Oh, and we went to Fogo de Chao. So let's talk about that for a minute. My husband, our favorite restaurant, we've been to Vegas several times because my sister lives out that way and my nephew lives there and he's getting married there. My favorite restaurant in Vegas has always been Virgil's. I've eaten at the one in Vegas. I've eaten at the one in New York City. And then there's one in the Bahamas. I've not eaten at that one yet. But that's my favorite. So Dennis, my husband, really wants to go back to Virgil's. I kind of want to see if there's a Brazilian steakhouse because I loved Fogo de Chao when we ate there in San Diego. Andy, do you like California? What is the answer? Oh, my phone is like trying to pull up California. That is really weird. It's listening to me. Oh, it's my favorite biscuit. Virgil's is my favorite, one of my favorite restaurants on this planet, and there's only 3 in the United States. Well, and two in the United States and one in Bahamas. But we're probably gonna have to hit that because my husband wants to, and I'm not opposed to it. Been to Virgil's many times. Sandra, I haven't been, no desire. California is nice. I wouldn't want to live there because it's expensive and they get taxed on everything. I mean, and their gas in it's expensive. Sandy says, I'm a country girl. Okay, guys, we still have a half an hour. I'm almost through my checklist. So the last thing that I wrote down, Last thing I wrote down was create a checklist before you travel. I use a reminders list on my phone. Built in, I have an Apple device. It doesn't matter which type you like, it's fine. But usually you can get a checklist app, and I create a checklist before I travel. And as I think of the things, and then I have a standard travel checklist, right, that I keep. As I think of things that need to be done before I go, I add them to the checklist. And then the day before, 2 days before, as I'm completing these, I mark them off the list. And this almost always allows a smooth, like, trip, right? Because I've didn't miss anything. I didn't forget anything. And that really helps me. So as you think of things, you add them to the list. And as you complete them, you check them off. And that really is like essential to me not having a nervous breakdown when I travel. Yeah, and everything in California there causes cancer. So they have some weird rules about labels. And I bought something at Costco here in Indiana, and apparently it was packaged for California. And it was like, this may cause blah blah blah, blah, may cause it was a powdered bone broth is what it was. And then someone pointed out, yeah, they do that for California because California, everything has to be labeled and sold as may cause cancer. As a matter of fact, it's Dustin. Dustin may have pointed that out. I think it might have been Dustin. Yes, and tax and gas is and right now gas is expensive everywhere. I'm really worried about. I'm glad I booked these flights like 6 months ago because they would be much more expensive now. And here's the funny thing. So where I live, and Smoothie, you'll understand this because you live in South Bend, but we're flying direct from South Bend, and there's really only, I think there's two airlines now that fly direct. One is Allegiant and one is Breeze. But my whole family who's flying from South Bend, we're all on the same flight because they only fly out Sunday nights and Tuesdays, and there's only one flight. So this whole plane is going to be help my family going to a wedding. It's going to be hilarious. Skit says great steak, even better barbecue. They used to have a drink falling off the porch iced tea comes in a mason jar. Yeah. So last time I went, I was drinking. So uh so yes. I did probably have alcohol the last time I went there. I'm trying to remember. Oh, let's see here. Gary's in the house. Gary says, I always forget to add things to my checklist. Okay, so what you need to do now is create a checklist, Gary, a standard checklist, and then create another checklist, right? And copy those things to that checklist, and then just leave the standard checklist, and then you won't forget. Dustin's in the house. Hey, Dustin, thanks for tuning in. And Sandra says, I'm a colorectal cancer survivor. I don't know if it was caused because I live here. Nothing surprised me. It could be. There's cancer all over the place. Plastics, the food we eat causes, I mean, it's really hard to tell anymore what causes it. But I'm glad that you are a survivor and you made it through that. We're happy you're here. Maritza's in the house. I believe Maritza is in Nevada, Vegas. Maritza, I'm flying to Vegas tonight, but I'm only going to be there two days, so I don't really have time for a meetup. I also would love to meet Christopher Brandlin. I don't know if you guys know Christopher Brandlin, but he's running for Congress in the state of Nevada, and I got to know him personally through the Kilts Health Coaching course. And Carrie says, great, Amy. Another thing I got to add to my checklist now. Another thing. Man, okay, you guys. So post in the comments what your travel tip is, what your best travel secret is. Let's build this list, right? And Biscuit says one thing we know is that carbs feed cancer. And we do know that. And if you haven't ever tuned into Dr. Thomas Seyfried, please share it with your friends, share it with your family. I truly believe his protocols, his press pulse protocol, can help everyone that we know who is battling the horrific disease. Jerry's in the house. Hello, hello, hello. She's probably listening with her OSHA approved device. Thank you so much for tuning in, Jerry. I'm sorry I missed your live stream earlier, but I was in a massive conversion project last minute, not last minute, but I mean last minute before I leave. So my job is really crazy today, my day job. So it's a little stressful. That's where that checklist comes in hand when you're very busy and you're trying to prepare for a trip. The checklist keeps you on task. For sure. And yes, Sandy, Christopher is awesome and full of energy. I agree. I agree. And I like him. Some people might not like this, but I like him because he's kind of like off the rails a little bit. Like he just says what's on his mind. He kind of like Mitch. He doesn't care. Uh, and he just says whatever it is. It doesn't matter. We're glad to see you, Dustin. Dustin, I messaged Chris and Miriam and recommended the BW3s in Elkhart. It'd be easier to do for me to do the one in South Bend, but it's a little farther for them to travel. So we'll see what they say. Biscuit says Warburg effect. Glucose from carbs are pulled by cancer cells for energy. The other thing that feeds cancer cells is glutamine. And so I can't really talk about drugs that block glutamine because I don't think we have any here in the United States. And I don't want to get into prescriptive stuff, but there are glutamine blocking drugs, and I think they're trying to work out a new one that will be approved in the United States. But if you tune into Dr. Thomas Seyfried, he talks about all that. Sandra says small self-care products are my travel thing. I do too. I always pack the travel size. My favorite thing to take, and I'm sure someone's going to say don't put this on your skin, but I love the little facial wipes from Costco to take my makeup off every night. And I pack a little baggie of about 5 or 6 of them, or an extra one, like how many days I'm going to be there, and then an extra one. But yes, I like to use my own stuff too. Maritza says, one day we will meet when you get here for a longer visit. I love In-N-Out Burger. I eat In-N-Out. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot about In-N-Out Burger. We may have to go to In-N-Out before we go to the wedding just to make sure we're not starving. And we're going to have steak. So the mother of the groom, my sister, is highly allergic to gluten. So when they planned the wedding reception, they planned it with a bunch of meat in mind. And they also knew that me and my husband were coming. My other sister is also keto. So they planned it for all of these people in mind. So we do get steak at the wedding. Thank you to my nephew, Zach, for doing it. Sandra says, thank you for all the very helpful travel trips. Excellent live. Glad I was here. I actually took notes. Back to work. Have a great day, everyone. Yes, so I am working today. This is just my lunch hour. So when I'm done with this, I got a lot to do to go service my work customers. Oh, that's another cool thing. I am having lunch on Saturday with my day job customers because they are across the street from the hotel I'm staying in. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm hoping to go to the Heart Attack Grill. And that's not going to be far from where we are staying. So maybe we can do that. I think everybody wants me to take videos and pictures of that. Hey, Karen. So glad you're here. Dustin says, I love In-N-Out Burger. I do too. It's really good. Now, we ate out one when we were in California. It's a little bit better when you're keto because you can get the lettuce wraps and everything. But I just had like 4 burger patties and it was kind of boring. Maybe I should get some pickles. Maybe I should just eat the pickles and onions once. It's not going to kill me. Sharon says there are some supplements that do that. Dr. Berg has some interesting ideas on that for certain cancers where you flex out of carnivore to plant-based for a short time, then back. Very intriguing. I'm curious about that because Dr. Seafried says get your carbs as low as possible, and you need to be testing your glucose, and you need it to be like 50s. You want your glucose 50s. So I'd be curious to see his protocol, Sharon. Jessica says my apartment is next door to a McDonald's, but they don't do that. They used to do the a la carte. I wonder when they stopped that because Dr. Barry, oh my gosh, I need a Kleenex. Dr. Barry used to talk about doing a la carte uh patties all the time. I wonder when they quit that. Interesting. I know that if you are eating in a place that has a Red Robin has a la carte patties for like a couple bucks a piece. Gary says, let me rephrase that. I'm listening with my OSHA approved devices. The bosses are watching me. Well, don't get in trouble at work. Yes, Rick, I want to go to the Heart Attack Grill. I hope I get there, but maybe we can go there for lunch before we fly out on Sunday. And he says, Rick, I was waiting for you. There's two Ricks here. Which Rick, Sandy? Charger Mopar Rick or retired Rick? My location did it up until 2022. They stopped. I think it's location specific. That stinks. Maybe you were ordering too many a la carte patties and they stopped because of you. Maybe. Okay, guys, post your favorite travel trip. Don't tell me none of you have travel tips. Rick says he takes raw meat with him. Rick, do you take live meat with you? Oh, that's interesting to know. Maybe we won't go there. Uh, so Biscuit says Heart Attack Grill is a tourist trap. Food is mild at best and overpriced. Okay, well, good to know. I should at least walk in there and film it. It's not far from our hotel. Rick the Quack. Charger all about the heart attack place. Yes, because he has the carnivore version of the heart attack burger, right? No live meat yet. So no, you haven't traveled with iguanas or chickens or ducks. Oh my gosh, Justin, you eat for free at Heart Attack Grill if you're like 350 pounds? You eat for free if you weigh three. I don't like that. Gary says long fast before and during travel. Yes, that's an excellent idea. Unfortunately, I'm really hungry today because of stress, travel stress. I mean, it's not bad stress. It's just get things done stress and make sure everything's set up and good to go. And honestly, if I look at my checklist, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to take the trash out. I got to sweep the floors. I got to lock some things in my office that I don't want people to have access to. I'm not gonna discuss what they are, but I got to lock those up. Pack my frozen water and pack my makeup. So actually, I think I'm good to go. I may look at packing some jewelry for the wedding too. Biscuit says every foodie review that I watched, I panned on the Heart Attack Grill. Interesting. And yes, Biscuit confirms that yes, 350 plus ID free. They have a scale out front. That's ridiculous. I don't really like that. Yeah, that's a horrible business practice for the burger chain. I agree. Biscuit says the first two spokesmen for the grill died. Look it up. Oh, I'm gonna have to do that. I don't know much about it. Harry says, yes, lock up those Snicker bars. I don't eat Snicker bars. I wonder if there'll be any Like food, concierge food in the hotel, probably not. We got 15 more minutes, guys. What else? Yeah, I didn't know that about the Heart Attack Grill. So we are staying near Fremont Street at the D. And the reason why we picked the D, well, we're staying at the Aliante the first 2 nights. And the reason why we're staying at the Aliante because it's off strip and it's close to the wedding venue. We get in at 1 a.m. our time tonight, 10:30 p.m. Vegas time. And then we check into the Aliante, and then tomorrow's the wedding. And then Saturday, so we're staying tonight and Friday night at the Aliante, and Saturday we're traveling over to Fremont. And we picked Fremont because my husband likes Fremont. It's entertaining, the people that walk around. So we'll probably go to the Strip where all the fancy hotels are for a while, and then we'll probably come out and walk around Fremont Street later in the evening when things get crazy. People watch. I'm not a gambler. The only thing that I really like is the horse racing thing, which is in the D. It's so much fun. I'll probably play that for a little bit. Dustin says, just eat the meat and cheese and you're golden. Absolutely. I probably will eat cheese on this trip as long as it's not American. The waitresses dress in nurse outfits. If you don't finish your food, they paddle spank you. It's all gimmick there. Well, I'm going with my brother, so he might like that. And he's single, so he might like a good nurse spanking. Sorry, Andy, if you're watching this. Kelly says, time to go back to work. Have a great trip, Amy. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to be closing this up here in just a few minutes because I have to get back to work. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get congested. I wonder what's going on there. That sucks. So let's just briefly review all of the travel tips in case for those who join late. Take purse food, bacon, hard-boiled eggs, pork rinds, steak cut into strips, cheese sticks. Number 2, and this will help keep your purse food cold. Use a see-through plastic water bottle, fill it with water, freeze it overnight, and then stick that in your personal item. If you do that, that will keep your purse, bacon, and food cold. And then, hold on, I'm getting a work call. Give me just a second, guys. Just a second, guys. All right. So you freeze a water bottle, you stick it in your carry-on, and then that keeps all of your purse food. Now, what you got to do is before you go into security, you got to drink all of the liquid out so that it's only frozen ice in it. It gets through. I've tried it. It's worked twice for me. If you are strapped for cash, cook a bunch of meat and freeze it. Pay $35 for an extra suitcase checked bag. Put all of the meat in a suitcase with some ice packs that are frozen. It will pass security, and then chances are the $35 will feed you all week. When you get to your hotel or wherever you're staying, you can put all of that meat, stay cold, and then you can put that in when you get to your destination. Eating out at restaurants, good, better, best here, right? Eat 2 meals a day, 1 breakfast, eggs, bacon, meat, and find places to get meat. Hamburger places are a definite go-to. They have something like Red Robin. You can order a la carte patties. Avoid seed oils if you can, but sometimes they cannot be avoided. Always check out the restaurants ahead of time and write them down so that you have a good game plan before you even leave. Fasting on travel days. And if you're trying to save money, even try out an extended fast. And if you like me, you tend to get bathroom issues, this will help with that. Again, I already talked about that one. Take electrolyte packets with you. You can say, you can't really take the homemade ones because they look weird. They look like you're taking some sort of substance on, but You can buy any of the brands. Again, if you want to check out Salty, I have a link on the description for a 10% off. And then the last thing, create a checklist before you go. This helps with stress and check mark the things off. I use a digital one on my phone, and that really helps. Let's see. What do we got going on in the chat? Uh, Dustin says Mr. Biscuit is over here trying to overseam it. I think he means overthink it. Oversell it. That's funny. Gary says, so far my tip of a long fast and during travel trumps all of those tips. I agree. You know me though, I'm always hungry and I love to experience food while I'm traveling. Now, usually when I get back, I hurt for about a week. Biscuit says, behave, Dustin. Yeah, behave, Dustin. And Dustin's like, fine. Ugh. All right, guys. Well, any final comments before I go? This was all about travel, tips and tricks and trips. Boy, that's kind of hard to say that really fast 5 times. Okay, guys. Now, one final note, Sunday night. I cannot do a live. I'm doing a premiere because I will be traveling back during a time at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is when I normally do my live stream. So I pre-recorded. Now I set it as a premiere, which usually means the person doing the premiere is supposed to be in the chat, but I'm not going to have access to internet. So what I encourage all of you to do is watch my premiere and chat with each other and talk bad about me while I'm not there, because I'm not going to be able to be in it because I won't make it home until 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be literally halfway through my flight when my premiere goes. But I wanted to leave the chat up so y'all can talk with each other, say bad things about me, and all that stuff. Oh, safe travels. Thank you, Smoothie. I'll be back in a few days. And Grandma's here. Hi, Wendy. She says, I'm a fan of Fasted Travel Days. Lamb says, have a great trip, Amy. Great tips. Thank you so much. And Low Carb Spin says, have a great trip. I renewed my vows on my 25th wedding anniversary at Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay is a wonderful, beautiful hotel. Doing a premiere? Oh my gosh, you're going J-pop. Yes, I'm doing a premiere. I'm supposed to be in the chat on the premiere, but I won't be able to be because I'll be flying. I'll be halfway home. Thank you, Maritza. Someday I'll get back out there to visit my sister, and not when we're having a wedding. And we'll do a meetup. I would love that. Okay, guys. I think that's about all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I think we had up to 22 people tune in Sunday. Oh, wait, Juliet just popped in. Work cray. Yeah, my work is crazy too, so I need to get back to work. And Andy's here. Welcome, Andy. Thank you for tuning in. Oh my gosh, we're just getting ready to end the stream, but thank you all for tuning in. And we're going to do the rolling credits. You all know how this works. Here we go. I think my music isn't working, so won't hear that, but thank you all for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you next Thursday in person. Have a great day. Here we go.